Well, hello, my friends and fellow off-gridders, and I'm Ruben Obed, and I'm here transmitting live from Dorado, Puerto Rico, here at my GB Music Group Studio office. And what I'm about to do is probably not going to fall too well on a lot of people, but I think it's important to say this because um, there are a lot of people that are being bamboozled and lied to by the whole energy sector and the whole solar energy sector. Okay. Um I live in Puerto Rico, and after Hurricane Maria, okay? Well, not after. Well, yeah, after Hurricane Maria, everybody knows the power was devastated and nobody had power. We had to run off of generators. We did an entire year, some people even longer. I did a year with absolutely no power. I didn't have solar. I didn't have generator. I didn't have anything. Okay. After the grid came back, okay, I started researching and learning how to build my own solar system, and I built it up to the point that I no longer needed the energy company. I built an off grid system. An off grid system meaning that whether or not the grid is there or not doesn't matter to me. I still have power. My house has power. But all of a sudden, it got very popular to install solar. But it's not the same thing I did. It's on grid. So what exactly does on grid mean? Well, they call it net metering. They what happens is with that, the sun hits the solar panels, the power from the solar panels goes through a little thing in the bottom of the solar panel called a microinverter, and that power that you generate goes to the grid, to the energy company. You're practically giving them the power for peanuts, and then they sell you that power back at a higher rate. On top of that, if the grid goes down for a prolonged period of time or even a short period of time, if the grid goes down, your solar panels go down with it because by law, by code, your solar panels cannot be active during a power outage because linesmen can get electrocuted because your house will become like a little island of energy that can kill a linesman. Therefore, your solar panels do not work when the grid goes down. Now, I say to myself, then that totally defeats the purpose of even having solar because you want solar when the shit hits the fan. But the way they have made this out to work is you have solar while the grid is up. You generate cheap power for them, and they still charge you. They still send you a monthly bill. It might be reduced, but now you're stuck for the next 10, 15 years paying for solar system, right? Maybe $300, $400, $300 a month, whatever, which is probably the same or more than what you paid just to the electric company with no system. On top of that, on top of that, they're using your real estate, your mortgage, the house that you pay for, so that you can provide to the energy sector cheap power, which they then sell back to you at full rate. It sounds like you guys are just getting suckered, you know? And a lot of people don't know that if the grid goes down, so that their solar panels, they don't know this. The majority of people don't know this. Some might say, oh, yeah, but I have a hybrid system and it has batteries. Yeah, it has batteries as long as the grid comes back in a swift period of time. So if you have 2 days of battery storage, then you'll have power for 2 days after the grid goes down. Then you're shit out of luck. If the grid has not been fixed, your batteries are now empty. And God, and pray to God that your batteries are not lead acid. And if they're lithium, you don't have to worry about so much. But if they're lead acid batteries, then they will sulfate, and then your investment will go down the tubes, because it'll create sulfation because lead acid batteries don't like to be um, discharged. And lead acid batteries, anytime you take them below 50%, you're actually hurting them. So, but in a prolonged power outage, you are going to kill your batteries. It's going to happen. And guess what? The next morning, even if the sun comes out, even if your entire roof is covered with solar panels, you get no power because the solar panels are shut off so the linesmen don't get electrocuted. You see, it seems to me that this whole concept of net metering is with the purpose of the energy company not becoming obsolete and the solar companies kind of meeting them halfway, so neither side is stepping on anybody's profits. They found it. They found that nice little middle ground where everybody makes money, and we, the consumer, we get suckered. You see, because here in Puerto Rico, I don't, about other states it's different. Here in Puerto Rico, kilowatt hour is almost 30 cents, if not at 30 cents, which is the highest in the nation. I think New York is like 19 cents kilowatt hour. Puerto Rico, 30 cents. So it's ridiculous. We're getting suckered here. Okay, so a lot of people, so they bought these solar systems and they're feeling safe. And they don't know this. They don't know that when the grid goes down, the solar panels stop producing power. There's going to be a lot of angry people. If a hurricane hits, then you'll end up being the laughing stock of your town because everybody will be, hey, but your roof is full of solar panels. How come you ain't got no power? Well, you don't have any power because your system is connected to the energy company. And your batteries, you might have backup batteries, but guess what? They're not getting charged. They're not getting charged because your solar panels don't work when the grid is down. So, the batteries have a finite time frame. Okay, so you get 2 days out of it. Grid didn't come back. Now you're shit out of luck. You've been paying your investment. You thought you were safe, and you're really not. And now you have to go and get a generator, which you didn't want to do in the first place. That's why you got solar. You see, but they don't tell you this, and a lot of people are going to learn this the hard way. If you really think about it, if you really think about it, then you don't need solar panels at all. You don't need them. And here's why. You can simply buy a couple of batteries, deep cycle batteries, hook them up together, put them on a regular car battery charger, plug them into your house, have them charged. When an emergency comes, you have some battery power. You hook up a little inverter to that, and you can run your fridge, you can run this and that. It's the same thing. It's the same damn thing. Because if you do that without any solar panels, then you'll have to wait for the grid to come back anyway to charge the batteries. So why? Why fill your roof up with solar panels on a grid tie system? I don't see the logic behind it. Now, if you have solar and you are well aware of this and you know that it's just like a little backup thing, and then that's fine, because I could understand a person or a household who says, okay, yeah, I have this system, but that was net metering just to mitigate, the monthly bill, and to supplement, and then we have a separate little off grid system in case the power goes out. I can understand that. You can have the best of both worlds. But the reality is that the people here in Puerto Rico, the majority, they're getting professionally installed systems, and they think they're going to have power after a hurricane. And I got news for you. You're paying every month, and you're not going to have power. And then when the grid goes down in Puerto Rico as a result of a hurricane, if we have a prolonged situation like we did with Hurricane Maria, a whole year without power, that's going to be an entire year that you're going to be without power, but you're still going to have to pay for your solar system. The same solar system that you signed a contract on and now has a lien on your house. So if you don't pay that, they're going to take your house. And that's what people are doing. You see, in my town, in my street, there are a couple of people who have installed solar. I'm the only one who did it off grid. The only one. I have nothing to do with the energy company. I live off grid. So when another hurricane comes, only person around here who's going to have solar power is me. In spite of other neighbors having solar panels, but they're grid tied. People don't know. People don't know. You have a grid tie system, those batteries, they're just there. You know, you're going to be without power. In the moment when you are going to need it the most, that is precisely when you will be without power with one of those grid tie systems with net metering. They make it sound all pretty. When I hear the word microinverter and net metering, to me that's a four-letter word. That's an insult. The purpose, at least for me, I mean you don't have to agree with me on this, but the purpose of having solar is that when shit goes bad, you have power. Okay? And if whatever went bad takes a month, you should have power. The only thing that should impede you not having power is, you know, the sun, lack of sun. But in that case, you can turn on a generator. Like right now, if I have a situation like that, I live totally off grid. If I get a series of rainy days, hey, I just turn on the generator for a couple hours and recharge my batteries and just keep going. You see what I'm saying? So, I just want people to understand, right? I want people to understand the difference between grid tied and off grid. My recommendation to people, if your purpose is to have uh, power when the shit hits the fan, go off grid. Build your own little system off grid, totally independent of the energy company. You don't have to disconnect yourself from the energy company. Just have your own little separate system. Nice battery bank, a nice inverter, a couple of extension cords, you know, have your solar panels on the roof. It'll be cheaper. You can do it yourself. You don't need any licenses. You don't need any permits or anything like that. You just do it yourself. Nice little simple 12-volt or 24-volt system, for yourself. Because at the end of the day, man, the reason you put solar is because you need power. You want to have power. You want to have that security. Right now, I'm totally disconnected from the energy company. Totally. I have been for a couple years already. I have refrigeration. I have power. I have my studio. I watch TV. I have my modem. Everything. I don't have an issue with that. Worst thing that can happen with me is maybe a battery go bad. I'll replace that, or if an inverter goes bad, But those things last a relatively long time, you know. But I just wanted to say that to people, and to tell them. I mean, if all you're gonna have is a battery backup with your on grid system, then you don't even need solar panels. Just have the battery. Buy the battery. It'll be cheaper. Have it charged. You know, have it charged with the own grid power. And if the grid goes out for a day, yeah, your power's run by your house is run by batteries. Why go into a debt for 10, 15 years to pay off solar panels that in that time frame the batteries may just go bad. Solar panel technology is evolving, so by the time you pay off those solar panels, they might be obsolete. you know there might be better technology anyhow. So I mean, I just don't see it. I could justify the spending of money. I could justify it off grid, because off grid, you know, you whatever comes, you're gonna have power. Unless the sun disappears, then hey, then you're shit out of luck. But then you still have a generator to charge your batteries. But this is my opinion, guys. This is my opinion. But what frustrates me is the fact that I know that the majority of the people who are signing up and having these professional solar systems installed do not know that their solar panels will not work when the grid goes down. They don't know it. And the solar companies, I don't think they're even saying it. They say, "Oh yeah, no, the power goes out. Yeah, then your batteries kick in, and you still have power. You won't even notice that the power went out." Oh, that sounds fine and dandy. In the event that the grid comes back in a relatively short period of time. But if you have a situation like Hurricane Maria, where the grid went down for an entire year, then you're gonna feel like a fool paying solar system doesn't work. And I believe this was done by these two sectors, the energy sector and the solar sector. Energy sector said, "Hey, I'm a little worried you're gonna mess up my monopoly." And the solar sector said, "No, don't worry, come on, I'll meet you guys halfway." And they talked and they said, "Okay, well, look, what we'll do is we'll make it on grid so that we give them the impression that they're protected." And oh, okay, yeah. And then when the grid goes down, then they shit out of luck. Okay, great. So in other words, my investment over here, my energy monopoly won't get affected with solar because your solar, you will make it codependent on me, right? Exactly. And then we both see that's what happened. And then they called it something pretty. They called it net metering. And they're like, "Oh, the benefits, because the power you generate will go to the grid and you will get a credit and your bill will come lower." Yeah. What about when the shit hits the fan? That's what I'm worried about. I'm not worried about now. I can pay for it now. You get your paycheck, you pay for your electric bill. The important point is when the grid goes down, then all that investment in solar goes down with it because you have a damn grid tie system. Tell you guys, like I said, some people know what they're doing. They know what they're getting, and if you know the entire information, that's okay. You know what I mean? Like right now, I have my own off grid system. If I were connected to the grid and wanted that other option of having a grid tie, okay, so at least you know what grid tie means. So, it's not the same thing making a decision conscientiously knowing, what's going to happen. But I know that the majority of these people are going to sleep thinking whatever happens, I'm going to have power because I have solar. And that's not the case. They're not going to have power. It's sad. It's sad. And I think it's important to say this now to them so that they can somehow talk to their solar installer or make like maybe an additional investment or take their system and somehow turn it to an off-grid system. You know, that's why I'm doing this video, to let people know now. So that when the shit does hit the fan, they don't get stuck. They don't get stuck. Guys, leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think of this video. Nobody has talked about this online, and I think it's very important to tell people about this. I don't think many people have understood this to its capacity, and just leave your comments down below, guys. But in the end, if you're going to build your system, I recommend go off grid. Okay? Take your system, build your system, your solar system off the grid. Totally separate. Trust me. When the shit hits the fan, you will thank me. Take care, guys. God bless. I really hope this informative video helps you guys out. Peace.